Have you ever wondered why so many people who start a podcast never actually get any ROI on it? Well, today I'm sharing with you a little known but incredibly simple framework that you can follow that will make you stand out from the rest of your competition. And better yet, if you follow the framework, you'll probably own your niche in a very short amount of time. So what is the secret framework I'm referring to? We call it the Rule of 100. The Rule of 100 says that when you undertake any new activity for your business, that you won't stop until you've undertaken it 100 times. Want to start emailing your email list on a regular basis? Don't stop until you've done it 100 times. Don't even look at your stats until you've done it 100 times. You're not interested in what happens right after you start. You're only interested in the stats after doing it 100 times. Ready to start a podcast? Well, following the Rule of 100 means you'll do 100 episodes before you'll even consider walking away from your podcast. And nothing in the world will stop you until you publish at least 100 episodes. If you don't think this rule really matters, I invite you to do an experiment. Try implementing the Rule of 100 on the next thing you undertake in your business. I guarantee you that following this rule will completely change your outcomes and have an incredibly positive impact on your business. So why is this Rule of 100 so powerful? Let's take a look at some of the finer points that are just below the surface. Number one, by the time you've done something 100 times, especially in the podcasting world, you've outlasted all of your competition. Your competition is very likely giving up before episode number 7 in the podcast world. So just by outlasting the competition, you automatically have an edge over them. Number 2, you've often heard the old adage that practice makes perfect. The actual reality, though, is that practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes permanent. So if you practice bad habits, you'll continue to have the bad habits and they won't be perfect. But by doing something 100 times and continuing to hone your craft and continuing to tweak your process to make it most desirable for your audience, you will begin perfecting your craft. If your craft is emails, if your craft is marketing, if your craft is driving traffic, if your craft is doing ads, or maybe your craft is the podcast, do it 100 times and you've automatically worked through the ugly. Number 3, when it comes to the podcasting world, something happens to you deep inside your mind whenever you've done something 100 times or more. You find an amazing confidence. You find a voice, so to speak, that you didn't have when you were a little bit shaky on episode 5. So when you've done the work of 100 episodes, you almost look back on that person that you were in episode 1 and don't really recognize that person. Whether it's podcasting, marketing, email, or even YouTube creation, most people quit far too soon. This is one of the reasons why you don't have to worry about a lot of the competition in your niche. I have a niche. In my niche, it's podcast production and podcast marketing and strategy. Most of the people that come into my niche as a newbie won't last nearly the 12 years that I've lasted in this niche. When it comes to being a category king in your niche, very often just outlasting your competition will put you on top. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of good things that come from being first to the niche, but simply outlasting your competition will be better for the long haul than any other thing that you can do. Most people quit when it gets too hard. Most people quit when it gets really inconvenient. And very often people quit when things get too challenging for them, whether it's mentally or they're being forced to grow more than they actually want to grow. And so you outlasting those people will automatically get rid of the weak links in your niche. Those that carry on to the 100 times and the 100 times beyond will be the ones that will scoop up all the business. So my challenge to you today is, no matter what your next goal is with your business or your podcast or whatever it is you're undertaking to get a positive ROI for your business, don't stop until you've done it 100 times. If you want to dedicate 18 minutes a day to doing it and getting in the 100 hours, then that's fine too. But give yourself that time. I've seen so many musicians, and even I think it's the Suzuki method for violin. It's about a daily practice. It's about a daily 5 minutes a day on your chords or 18 minutes a day on your scales. And you become a master in a very small amount of time when you do this sort of thing. Sit down and write 100 pieces of content. Sit down and write 100 podcast episode titles. Do whatever it is you're going to do 100 times before you really even think about quitting. Doing this will change your business, and I'm telling you, it's changed my business. If you like content like this and you need more content like this in your life, please hit subscribe, hit the button for the notifications, and every time a new episode goes live, you'll be the one getting a notification. If you're on the podcast apps, please hit subscribe, and every time a new episode comes out, you'll see it on your playlist. Thank you so much for following me. I'll see you next time.